everybody, Steve here, and today I'm going to be looking at Diggin Deep Boxing from Diggin Deep Sports. This was designed by Rob Lennon, released in March of 2013. It's for 1 or 2 players, and a bout is going to take you about 10 or 15 minutes to play through. Now, this is a round-by-round simulation of boxing. In a normal round, you're going to roll 3 10-sided dice, get a result from the boxer's card, and then compare that with the result from his opponent on the reference card to see who won the points for the round. In between, a boxer may get cut, he may have points deducted for a low blow, or he might get a knockdown of his opponent. If at the end of 15 rounds no one has scored a knockout, whoever has the most points wins the match. Now, if you're familiar with Digging Deep games, you know that all of their games have a digging deep component to them, and this game is no different. Each of the boxers will have a certain amount of digging deep points that they can choose to use before a round starts, and that's going to give them a chance to take control of the round and maybe score some points or get a knockout of their opponent. So what we have here is a light, quick simulation of boxing, but is it any fun? Well, let's take a closer look at the game components and the boxer cards. I'll play through a couple rounds, and then I'll tell you what I think after further review. So first off, there are 2 versions of the game. There's a black and white printed version, and then the version that I'm reviewing here is the color ebook version. There's a 10-page booklet that details all the stats on the boxer cards, all the different results that can come off the card, and then finally there is a sample of play that shows you a few rounds of a match. There are some charts that come with the game. This is the cut and injury chart that you refer to when a boxer gets injured. There's a solo chart for if you want to just control one boxer during a match. The toe-to-toe chart is when both boxers get the same result at the end of a round to see what happens. And then the knockdown chart is where you'll roll to see if a boxer can get back up after he gets knocked to the canvas. The last chart we'll look at is the boxing reference card. This is where you'll go at the end of every round, compare the results from each of the boxer cards, and see who won the points. This will also tell you which chart to refer to if both of the boxers end up with the same result. At the bottom of the card is a quick play reference chart, where in just a couple of dice rolls you can find out who won a match. So if you want to run a full 5-fight event, but you only want to full play the main event, you can use this chart for the undercard. Sometimes the result from a player card will say check the deck, and you'll just simply draw a card and see what happens. There are 2 versions of the cards. There's a printer-friendly version, and then there's a full-colored version with pictures on them. Here, anything can happen from getting a biased ref to the challenger making a comeback and earning a couple digging deep points. So let's take a quick overview of the boxer cards themselves. In the top right part of the card, they'll have the number of digging deep points that they start with. The next box will show when they can use those, and whether it's for attack or defense or both. Then the number of fatigue points that they start with, their power, finesse, and injury ratings, and then whether they're an orthodox or a southpaw. At the bottom of the card, it'll have the results if you're doing a quick play, and then finally at the very bottom is their career 1-loss record. Now, in the middle of the card are the results that are going to come up during each round of the match. So you roll the 3 dice and you'll get a result between 1 and 1,000. If it's from 1 to 500, you're going to read it on the attack column for the boxer. But if you roll from 501 to 1,000, you'll read it on the defense column of his opponent. However, if a boxer is using his digging deep points for that round, then all of his attack rolls will come from his own card on the digging deep column, unless he rolls over a 901, and in that case it would be a check the deck result. But if you look at Ali's card, you'll see that he can use his digging deep for attack and defense. So when he's digging deep, all of his opponent's rolls will come on the defense side of his digging deep column. So let's go through a couple rounds of a match to see how this all comes together. The first thing that we do is we decide who is the challenger and who is the champion, and that simply goes by the number of wins that the boxer had. So Ali will be the champion in this scenario, while Tyson is the challenger. So we'll join this match that's already in progress. We're at the start of round 5. Ali is leading in points, 39-36. They have both lost 4 fatigue points, so Tyson is down to just having 4 left, while Ali has 11. Tyson has just 1 digging deep point left, and Ali has 2. Each round begins with the challenger first deciding if he's going to use a digging deep point, and in this case Tyson decides that he will, using up his last point, and Ali counters by saying that he will also use a digging deep point. So when that happens, they both cancel each other out, and you'll simply roll on the normal side. So Tyson rolls the dice, we get a 327, and we look at the normal side on his attack column, and that tells us that he scored a glancing blow for the round. Next, Ali will roll, and he gets a 963, and that is a check the deck result. So we draw the top card, and it is a finesse check C+. So we're going to look at Ali's finesse rating, and if it's above a C+, he will pass. And in this case he is, so that means that he lands a solid blow and also does not lose a fatigue point at the end of the round. So now we'll go to the reference card, and we'll see if one boxer rolls a solid blow and the other rolls a glancing blow. We score the round 10-9 to the boxer with the solid blow. So Ali would win the round 10-9. We'd mark that on our scorecard, mark off the fatigue for Tyson but not Ali because of his card, and then we'll go to round 6. Tyson is now out of digging deep points, so he doesn't have that option. However, Ali has 1 left, and he chooses to use that. So Tyson rolls a dice, and he gets a 536. But now we're going to be reading under the digging deep column on Ali's card, and we see that it's an all D result, meaning that Tyson gets no offense in and is just covering up. And here we also see the difference. If Ali wasn't using digging deep, that would have been a solid blow for Tyson. So now Ali is going to roll, and he rolls a 214. So we'll look at the attack column of the digging deep side of his card, and we see that it's a knockdown. So now we're going to go to the knockdown chart. So Tyson's current fatigue is 3, so we'll look at that column, roll 1 10-sided die, and we get a 4, and that's a KO. Down goes Tyson, and Ali is still the champion. Alright, so there's a look at Digging Deep Boxing. Now, there were lots of things that I enjoyed about this game. First, it's very easy to set up. It takes a small footprint on your tabletop, and the rules are fairly simple to learn. There's a lot of variety in the boxing sets that are available, and there are some fictional boxers that are included in the set. So if you've ever wanted to see how George Foreman would do against Rocky Balboa, well, this is the game that's going to let you find out. Now, on the downside, there's not a lot of strategy involved in the game once you get past deciding when you're going to use the digging deep points for the boxer. So if you're looking for a very deep, involved, punch-by-punch simulation of boxing, then this isn't going to be the game for you. Also, with the fatigue system, I found, especially with this heavyweight set, that all of my matches ended by a knockout, and none of them made it past the 7th round. So you may want to tweak the fatigue system a little bit, and there's also some house rules that have been posted on the forums for the game that might be worth checking out. However, with all that said, the bottom line is that this is just a fun game to play. The best compliment I can ever give a game is that when I get finished, I immediately want to set it back up and play it again. And this is especially true with Digging Deep Boxing because you simply get an overwhelming amount of boxers with each of the sets. So there's lots of matchups that you can set up on your tabletop and play out. So this game was a knockout for me. And if you're looking for a fun, light, and easy to learn game of boxing on your tabletop, head on over to Diggin Deep Sports, and I think it's going to be a winner for you too. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve. I'll see you next time after further review.